guys. Thought I'd just do this video because I haven't got anything coming into the collection for a little while, I don't think, unless Hot Toys drop something drastically unusual or unexpected. I thought I would just go through my history of collecting custom items. Most of them, actually near on all of them, I haven't got any more, but I've been collecting for over 12 years, so I thought I'd go through some of the examples and some of the things I've collected. And also, after looking at all these photos that I'm going to talk about, do I regret selling any? Because I've had quite a few and I've spent a lot of money. If you haven't got into customs before, they're expensive. They're very, very limited runs on clothing and head sculpts. Time consuming as well, because you may have to go on an order that could take 2 years to make, sort of clothing, or like I said, head sculpts and painters and things like that. So yeah, so I'll just have a chat as we're going through these pictures, and I can talk to you about what my experience was and you know, the reasoning behind what I was chosen. This one here, my first ever Hot Toys figure was Christopher Reeve Superman, and I never really liked the cape, I never really liked the suit, so I actually tracked down this version 1 Tony May suit, which looking back on it now looks amazing, much more vivid to the original movie. Yeah, it was really nice, but again, with a lot of my thing in my collection, I sold it. But looking back at it now, I hope Hot Toys actually redo this. And here it is when I got it through, so you could just put the boots on and everything. But yeah, really nice this was, and it really popped in the collection. After I started collecting Hot Toys, I went into it was around the time of a lot of the sort of classic, you know, sort of TV shows were coming out. The Wire and Sopranos, and Dexter was something that really caught my eye, and I wanted to collect something from, you know, that TV show that, you know, people like to do. So Dexter was one of the things that I wanted to get. So this is all custom head sculpt, etc. And then I actually tracked down a lot of the sort of accessories you could pick up. So that was one of the first ones I picked up. And then slightly after that, I got I sold that one and then picked up another one that was painted by an old YouTuber called Nenny D, which was not this picture here, this is the other one, but then the next one was another Dexter I picked up. This one here, which I loved, but I sold it because the last season was awful. So I think when you fall out of love of the show, especially TV shows, it can be quite tricky to love the figure after if the show doesn't perform. It's a bit different to a movie, I don't know why. This one, my favourite movie apart from the Star Wars movies is Jaws. This was made from Shark City, Ozark. They're still going, they do great replicas of the Bruce the Shark. This was a small one that I had for a little while. And then the next one coming up here is the 1/6 bust, which, to be fair, I'm probably going to get again. They've changed it slightly now. It's a slightly different position, I think. But if you Google Shark City Ozark, they're amazing. The detail. This was the version 1. The version 2 now is, I don't even know what version I'm on now. Is so good, but it really pops again, similar to the Superman. Really pops in your collection. It's something a bit different. There were rumours about them, I don't even know, I don't think they have, but there were talk about doing a 1/6 shark, which would be, if they have done it, it will be massive and too big for, you know, for what I need. But look at the detail there. I'm going to pick another one up, I think, eventually. There's no rush, they always do them. They're reasonably priced, they do sort of payment plans, etc. But yeah, I think for me that's the one of the next things I'm going to pick up, because I do miss having it. This isn't my picture. This is someone online I saw at the time, Chip Herring I think his name is. This is my grail, 3 of the Jaws cast. Sorry, these pictures are going through quite quickly. So James Bond was the next thing, around the time of Spectre. apart from Big Chief Studios that were recently doing James Bond, which they've just lost a license. I decided to pick these up. This is a Yunsul suit. I'm not sure who did the head sculpt, but this is a Yunsul Yunsul suit. Really expensive, about $450. And that was from Casino Royale, I think. Oh no, from Skyfall. This is a proper grail. This is a Yunsul Sean Connery from Goldfinger. This isn't the Big Chief. This was a Yunsul limited run clothing range with a head sculpt painted by Jacob Raymere, who is, in my opinion, one of the best in the world at custom paint jobs. And I mean, the suit was absolutely amazing. To be honest, I had this in the collection for about 6 months, and then someone offered me a crazy money to buy it off me. And it was at the time, here goes the head sculpt here. Yeah, I mean, it's stunning. I mean, even to nowadays, this was from 2015, 16. But if you look at the paint job now, I mean, compared to the Big Chief, it's talking night and day sort of thing. I think it was Indigo that did the head sculpt on this one. I'm not too sure on it might be BB Kill for the Daniel Craig. Again, I fell out of love. That's when I was selling. That's what you got with the Yunsul run. Again, probably about $450. Took about a year and a half to be made, and that's the problem with these customs. You put in the order in thinking, oh great, I've got the bars of this, and then when you wait a year and a half, similar to Hot Toys, you might not want it afterwards. I did pick up a Pierce Brosnan GoldenEye sculpt. Wasn't overly keen on it, and by that time, my James Bond, I was falling out of love with James Bond a little bit. They just moved on. Again, after Connery left, I just moved on. The next one, this was probably one of the greatest figures I've ever had, custom-wise. This was Mini-Me's Walter White. Just stunning head sculpt and clothing. I mean, this is obviously the sort of civvy clothes sort of stuff, but this was about $500 again, but I changed it out and put the Habsamat suit on him. And it was always one of those sort of figures that when it came in the collection, people would always go straight to it, if you know what I mean. It was just stunning head sculpt. I mean, I think 3-0 have done it, but nothing will touch this unless it was in arts or something. But look at that. I mean, it's looking back at it now. Again, probably if I watched Breaking Bad again, I'd want it, because I'm one of those people that once I watch something, I get the hype. And that's there with the other TV sort of figures, and one of them I'll talk about in depth in a while. The next one was Don Draper from Mad Men. I didn't have this that long, to be honest. These aren't my photos, which is crazy because I spent so much money on this figure and I never actually took any photos of it. Again, someone offered me crazy money. The run was Yunsul. I can't remember who did the head sculpt. It was through Jacob Raymere and Rob that did the run. This was my figure with the unpainted, and then I got Mark Simpson or Paul Prentice, I think, to paint it. Head sculpt was okay. It's not 100% John Hamm, but again, I can't believe I never took any photos of it. But I was offered quite a lot of money to get rid of it at the time, and Mad Men had finished. Again, similar, the show had finished. Walking Dead, another one that was brilliant at the start. At the end, I just watched it because I had to finish it. This is Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln, Tanila clothing. Gun was from, I think, the G.I. Joe, Bruce Willis, or one of the, I don't know, it was online, it was something like that, I can't remember. Did that, and then I got, I think it was Paul Prentice to weather everything, because they came so clean, so I wanted it really like that sort of, you watch The Walking Dead, everyone looks dirty and smelly and grubby and all that, so he did a great job at doing all the weathering. And that's another thing, when you get a lot of these sort of runs on customizers, a lot of them don't do the weathering, so they come back really clean. So again, it's an extra cost of them. I mean, you know, even looking at this, I don't think you'd even get Hot Toys to do this much weathering on their clothes and their figures. He did a great job on this. Again, it was one of those figures that was in my collection quite a while, and then when the show was waning in my sort of head, I decided to sell up again around the time where Andrew Lincoln always had massive fans. Everyone wanted Walking Dead figures at the time. And then going on to Nucky Thompson from Boardwalk Empire, which was a show I actually loved and loved to watch again actually. This was painted by Paul Prentice. The head sculpt was amazing. I think there's been a Redmond's Toys knockoff. I've seen someone do a knockoff of this figure. I got this quite late in my sort of custom TV shows collection. So again, I think the show had ended because the thing is, like I said before, is the runs are so time consuming, they take so long, is that you might order it on season 3 and then by the time the 5th season comes out and it's finished, you sort of pass that buzz, the hype. But this was a great head sculpt and he'd done such a good job to paint it. Painted it with the eyes off to the side, which I quite like, gave it a little bit more sort of attitude. The suit, I think, that's coming up was by Iris. I'm not sure if Iris and Yun saw the same person. Please, in the comments, say if they are or not. But this was a run with, I picked the whiskey accessories up as well. But the detail on the suits are unreal for customs. They really are. They are just, you know, a piece of art, really. And you are paying for that art, you know, like I said. They're not cheap, but they are, you know, I can imagine looking at the Enhanced Joker similar to how good it is, but you're paying for that. I mean, Hot Toys are great, don't get me wrong. I look at this picture now, I think the neck's a bit too long. I should have brought that down. It definitely is too long now looking at that, but you get the gist. Once I should have put the neck down, or perhaps needs to. I think that's better there. But it came with a carnation. The tie had the right pattern. It was just a great figure. And then I sold it again. And then this is going on to Game of Thrones, obviously massive worldwide show. This was Jon Snow. This is a custom head sculpt. Again, I have to apologise. I can't remember who did it, but Jake and Raymere rehaired it and also weathered the 3-0 original Jon Snow figure. It's again just an absolute piece of art when you see it in. I have to be honest, it didn't photograph as well as it looked in hand. It's really weird. I mean, it looks great here, it looks pretty good, but when you got it in hand under the lights, then I had a DTOF, was superb. And the eyes, the paint. Jacob Raymere, if you look him up on Facebook, is probably one of the best in the world. Also picked up some smaller boots because the original 3-0 boots were really big. So there was someone doing a run of that. And then you can see he's weathered it a lot more on the sort of leather, it's not skirt, but something like that. So it's been sort of weathered and all that. Again, one thing I would say about this photo, it's really weird, is that after this photo, you have to sort of play with the hair and I had to wet it a bit more and things like that. But that went, again, someone offered me crazy money for that again. This was one of my recent ones. I picked up Han Solo. It was an Indigo Captain 2 or something like that, painted by Mark Simpson. I didn't keep it that long. It's really weird. Again, I think it looks better in hand. I took a photo like this and I was like, I showed it to a few people. I think it looks better here. It looks quite old though. He looks quite old. I'm not a massive fan of the original head sculpt, which I've put back on now, because that's all we've got for Han Solo, apart from a few other custom ones that I couldn't pick up because they're too expensive now. I think he looks all right, but I just couldn't get on with it and I sold it. And then this is probably the only custom one I've got left. Bar the Michael Myers. I got this repainted. I made a video about it actually. Got this repainted by Mark Simpson. Again, because I didn't really like the original paint job on the Emperor. It looks amazing, really good. You know, I don't think I want. If they brought a new one out, I don't think I'd need it because it's so good. This sort of figure and the paint job on it. This is one of the figures that I regret selling. This, I don't know who did the head sculpt. It wasn't BB Kill. I can't remember who it was. Please forgive me for that. Jacob Raymere did the paint job, which cost a lot of money. But I think the likeness to Ford is great, and I spent a fortune on the build of the figure, the leather jacket. I think it was Youngster again or Iris again. I can't remember. But it costs a lot of money, and they've done a few runs since. I got it weathered by Jacob as well. Some of it was Hot Toys. The leather jacket wasn't, but some of the, I think the shirt was, and the satchel, and the trousers, the shoes. But for me, that is, if they could get Ford like that, looking like that for Han Solo, we'd be in a winner. I mean, that's to me. Other people might not see it, but this looks so good on the shelf. And again, at the time, someone offered me stupid money for it. We're talking $800 plus for it, and you know, it's hard when someone offers you that much. But this is a figure that I really hope Hot Toys come back to, and with the new film coming out. But when I mean, look at that, it looks amazing, and I'd love to see InArt try it. Hopefully Hot Toys will try and do it with a proper leather jacket. Again, I'd love to do it. It just had so much shelf presence. Raiders is in my top 3 of all time. Someone said the hat was a little bit too small. Oh, it didn't bother me that much. I mean, it looks great. There are other things I probably could have done, was like sort of glue the leather jacket, sort of like lapel things down. But that was great. Now, True Detective Season 1 is my favourite TV show of all time. These two figures I sort of do wish I kept, especially Matthew McConaughey. I got these late. I picked these up second hand. Actually, no, I picked up Marty through a run. But these are up there with Ford, Indy as the figures I wish I'd kept. I love this TV show, the first season. It's probably the most well-acted show I've ever seen. Jacob Raymere repainted the head for me because I got it with a bit of a chip on the hairline. It's not 100% McConaughey, definitely not 100% Woody Harrelson, but I wanted representation of my favourite TV show. And now look at them there. I mean, the Russ Cole McConaughey one is unbelievable. I so wish I kept it. I didn't. Someone offered me stupid money again. My collection was changing at the time. I'd got rid of all the TV ones that you'd probably seen in this video, and it would have looked a bit strange on its own. I wasn't bowled over by Marty as much, and it was one of those that I'd waited so long to get it. The suit took ages to come. Once I got it and I posed it up, I wasn't overly happy with it. But this Russ Cole had amazing accessories. That she had the cigarette, they had the sort of wicker thing that came with when they found the murders, and they had the diary, and in the diary had all the pictures, all his drawings and everything. I mean, it was a work of art. Again, the neck on here looks definitely too long. I didn't fuss with that properly. It's quite a basic figure, but I just wanted the sort of to represent the TV show that I love so much. You'll never get this on a mass-produced run. InArt would never do it. It'd only be a custom. But there's one figure that's going to be coming up here, which is from True Detective, that is the ultimate figure that I'd never wish I'd sold. Again, probably wouldn't have gone with any of my Star Wars. But this is the Old Man Rust Cole. They only did a limited run of the head sculpts, which you see here, but no one did the clothing run. Jacob Raymere did one himself, which looked amazing. You'll see in the next picture. He was very kind for me to build one for me. I had to get all the sort of items. It was all separate things. It wasn't just it was all like shirts from like Mission Impossible, custom figure and things like that. He weathered everything. And there was only this one and his one. And I love this figure. And it was one of those that I regret selling, because there was only 2 of them in the world. I don't know if anyone's made one since, but looking at these pictures now, it was one of those that I do regret selling. I spoke to the guy that I sold it to the other day actually, because he was doing a run. I still asked him if he still had it. So to a lot of people, they might think, oh God, it's nothing. But for me, I love the TV show, and it was, you know, Mark Simpson painted it. He put a bit of the hair in and all that sort of, you know, it's not 100%, but it's great. But I sold it for a lot of money. Someone again offered it to me. And yeah, that was it. So that's the only one. That and Indy is probably the only two that I regret selling now, looking back on all these photos that I've been going through. Please drop a like on this video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Hope you've not been too bored listening to me go on about my past collection. And yeah, see you soon guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.